So can you see me?
Yes, I can. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
When I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
If you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So
I really just wanted some advice. I love your
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
Hey babes, it's Trenaejxo, aka Trenaejxo, and welcome back to my channel, guys. If you do not know who Kevin Samuels is, maybe you should take some time and do a little bit of research because he has the internet in a chokehold, okay? He's super controversial, but unpopular opinion, I agree. I'm team Kevin Samuels. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, then sit tight. Maybe you want to grab a little drink or a little snack and stay tuned. Sit down, get ready with me. I just wanted to talk to you guys while I do my makeup. Hey y'all, if you get a glance at my nails,
you're in my business. Yeah, don't do that.
I'm going to get them done tomorrow, so like, judge your mother. Anywho, we're doing a get ready with me. No, I'm not going anywhere, but like, whatever. I'm never going anywhere, so it's fine. So I wanted to talk to you guys about dating. I feel like that's a juicy topic. People always like to talk about dating. Like, if no matter where I am, when you start talking about dating, like, people come out the woodwork. It gets the people going. So yeah, let's get straight into it. All right, so what inspired me to do this video today is because, like a lot of people I know, I discovered Kevin Samuels during lockdown, and you know, he has definitely been getting the people worked up. He has the people in a frenzy. If you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, he has a background in image consulting, and he kind of like segued into giving like relationship advice or dating advice. So he's been doing it for a while, and he made a specific video talking about this woman, and he went viral from that. With him, it's either you love him or you hate him. And I know a lot of women who hate him. He calls himself the Godfather of what, I'm not exactly sure, but I am going to link his Instagram, and he also has a YouTube page where he does live streams. So if you have some time, I definitely would encourage you to check him out because I don't know, like, I feel like it's worth a listen. Also, for this makeup routine, I'm not doing anything different. I'm literally just doing my normal makeup, but I wanted to talk to you guys, so I'm not really going to be explaining exactly what I'm doing while I'm applying my makeup. You get me? But if you want to know exactly what I'm doing, you want an in-depth tutorial, check out this video. I'm going to link it in the cards, and I'll link it below. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Now, the thing with Kevin Samuels is he's been getting so much backlash, mainly because I feel like a lot of the stuff that he's talking about now, his content, is specifically addressing black women. And me being a black woman myself, one thing that I know about us is we don't be liking people to tell us about ourselves. Okay?
Who gonna check me, boo?
So basically, when he does live streams on YouTube, like, women will call into his show and he streams his conversation. Like, they call into Zoom or whatever, and then he also like does Instagram lives where these women join his live and they call in seeking dating advice. Mostly it's women who are seeking out a specific type of man. This man is what they call a high value man. Now, before I started watching Kevin Samuels, I had never heard of this term before. I mean, I knew these type of men existed, but I didn't know that there was like a coined phrase to describe them. Either way, first of all, these women come to him willingly. He doesn't go and solicit anyone. They willingly join his lives. They willingly call him via Zoom. He's not soliciting anyone. He's not seeking out anyone. They are coming to him, right? I feel like he means well. And I think that a lot of times, like, his messaging gets lost because women can't get past the delivery. Nobody likes to hear the truth. And y'all probably not even gonna like what I'm about to say. So after watching multiple live streams with multiple women and hearing different experiences and his advice based on these different experiences, I wanted to share the things that I have learned that Kevin Samuels has taught me. I think the main thing, please don't drag me for this, I never realized how delusional women can be.
I will not. Will you get out? You want some?
Hear me out. Before you turn the video off, hear me out. Specifically, these women call in because they want advice on how to, you know, attract a certain type of man. This man is quote unquote a high value man. Now, what is a high value man, you may ask? Okay, well, Kevin Samuels comprised a list of what exactly makes a man high value. I don't know where he got this information from. According to him, this was always a thing. He kind of just made the term more popular, brought more recognition to the term. I don't know how true that is or is not, but we're going based off of his narrative. Like, so it is what it is. At the top of the list of what makes a man high value or not is the amount of money that he makes. And if we want to call a spade, we already know that she a gold digger, but y'all know the rest, okay? You want a man who's doing well for himself, right? I don't think that that's unrealistic. Like, you want a partner who's... Sorry, yo, I just got some... I don't know if it's good news or bad news. Not really sure how to feel about it. Unexpected is a good word to describe it. But, so, yeah. Wow, that really, like, just threw me off. Well, yeah, so I don't think that that's, like, an unrealistic expectation or want. I realized that after a while that like all the women were calling in describing this, that they wanted the same type of man, and it's just like, sis, it's not enough of them to go around. Like, we all aren't going to be able to get this type of man. It's just not enough of, mathematically, it just like it don't make sense.
Somebody ain't doing the math right.
He makes a good point to like, just basically it's just like, men for a long time, since they're little, are taught, okay, this is the type of woman that I should be going after because this woman is in my lane. Like, if I know I ain't that cute, I'm not going to try to go after the Kelly Rowlands, quote unquote, or like the women who are super attractive. If I ain't got a whole bunch of money, then I probably can't bag the girl who like looks really, really good. Maybe instead of me trying to get a 9 or a 10, I get me a cool 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? And they're okay with that. Now, obviously, it's exceptions to every rule. So, like, sometimes, yeah, you might get a 9 or a 10. And you're not that cute if you're a guy, or you don't have that much money. But for the most part, like, guys are always taught to stay in their lane. And, like, there are certain women who they have access to and certain women that they don't. And us as women, we never, I know I haven't. I can only speak for myself and my friends, my immediate circle. Like, in our mind, we like, shit, I can get whatever man I want.
Period.
And maybe women do know, like, what men they have access to or what men that they can actually get, but they just don't want to admit it. Like, it could be a pride thing. I don't know, but I just feel like that's something that we be like, please, yeah, okay, you want to see me try? I can get them. You want to see me try?
Oh, I'm gonna do that anyway. I'm gonna do that anyway because that's how I am.
There is no possible way that all these different types of women are going to be able to get the same type of man. There aren't enough of those men to go around. It just is what it is. Even myself included, as far as expectations, like, I think that we expect a lot from men because men are supposed to be the hunter, the aggressor in terms of, like, when it comes to dating or whatever. Like, they're supposed to lead that whole process. Men are supposed to be the provider and the this and the that. And it's like, that puts us in a position where we feel, like, entitled to a lot of stuff. And we don't have to work as hard. Like, there is a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of... which, I mean, I don't necessarily think is fair all the time. Now, I'm not speaking for all women. I'm speaking based off of what I hear and what I see from the women who call in talking to Kevin Samuels. Another thing that Kevin Samuels taught me is I need to move. I never really disclose where I live, but it's a small city. I'm gonna just say that. Not that there's anything wrong with being in a small city, but you have to think, like, that limits your chances of meeting the type of person that maybe you would like to meet. And I think that at my big age, like, the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer of, like, new people to meet and a new person who's available and who's the type of guy that I would want to be with. That I feel like is husband material, that I feel like is father material. It's slim pickings out here already. And if you live in a small city, the pickings are even slimmer. And I've watched live streams where there have been women who live in small cities, who are from small cities, and that is his advice to them. Like, if they have trouble finding a person, dating or whatever, he advises them to move. Just because there are more options, because there are more people. Yeah, I need to move. Which, honestly, I already knew that. Another thing that Kevin Samuels taught me that I kind of already knew, but I feel like watching him kind of like magnified it. Like, he was on a bullhorn and like blowing it in my face.
You are a dumb hoe. Shut up.
I sold myself short for years. It's because of external factors, childhood traumas, all of the baggage that we have, bad experiences from relationships, friendships, and intimate relationships. Just how you value yourself, your self-worth. It's something that I even struggle with now, like in adulthood. Sometimes I still struggle with it, with my self-worth and setting boundaries and making sure I'm not accepting less than I deserve. And it sounds so cliche, but it's like a super hard thing to do sometimes. You don't even realize in a lot of instances you default back to, you know, ways that may not be healthy for you. I was dealing with people and aligning myself with people that I shouldn't have, who didn't deserve to be in my space, who didn't deserve my energy, who didn't deserve my company, who didn't deserve me, period. I stayed in those situations longer than I should have. I accepted things that I shouldn't have. And I feel like this is something that everybody can relate to. Guys, I had no business. And nowadays, I wouldn't even look twice.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
Like, really, Trenae? Someone told me, a guy told me, basically like a woman's stock value. I hate to say it like that. I don't know a better word to put it. But basically, like, his perception of me changed. I'll say that. The perception of a woman can change based on the caliber of men that she dates. Which is kind of like the saying, your network is your net worth, or your net worth is your network, whatever, however it goes. But it was just like, okay, so because I'm dating a certain type of guy, that would maybe like be unattractive or deter the type of guy that I would want to date. Because he's looking like, girl, you dating this guy? I don't want no parts of that. If this is the type of guy she like, I know I'm not him, so I'm going this way.
She belongs to the streets.
Kevin Samuels affirmed that. And that's something that I never even considered when I was younger, for sure. But it's bad now because that makes it that much harder. Y'all probably really not gonna like me for this. This is probably when y'all gonna start calling me a pick me. And this is where I might get canceled, dragged, and the like. Women, we gotta be careful what we ask for. If you ask for something, you have to be prepared to be able to handle it if you get it. What I mean by that in terms of dating is that so many of us want this certain type of man. Super successful, has money. We like, oh yeah, I want him to love me. I want him to only be about me. He gotta have a bag right. He gotta spoil me. He gotta take me on trips, take me shopping. I don't want to work. Like, he need to take care of me. I want to be home with the kids. I want him to look good. I want him to have, to be blessed, well endowed. We have this whole long checklist, right? But think about how many other women are asking or wanting or wishing or hoping or praying for that same thing. Okay, so let's say you do get this guy and you get all the stuff. He's super attractive. He's super successful. He takes care of you. You don't have to work. Because there is a shortage of this type of man, like, you know how many women gonna be after him, sis? Kevin Samuels always talks about how you can't have it all. He's not going to be available to you maybe as much as you want. We want attention. So, like, that's a sacrifice you're going to have to make. Maybe he has to travel for work and you can't go because, girl, you got to stay home and hold the fort down. You got to take care of the kids, make sure they get to school. Or maybe your job may not permit you to travel with him. You know, women will throw their opinions around about how you know, their wives or girlfriends or fiancés or whatever are, like, stupid and how they could never stay after cheating and, like, all this stuff. stuff. A lot of times these women be having to turn a blind eye, and not to make excuses for the men's behavior, but I just feel like it's one of those things where it kind of just comes with the territory, and that's a price that those women are willing to pay, because I feel like they understand that it comes along with that life. Recently, you know, like Bill Gates and his wife, like that whole thing, it just came out that he had a mistress or whatever, and like the wife knew about it. That happens a lot. You know how many of them women running around that's married to these millionaires, billionaires, whatever, that's not in love? For a lot of people, marriage is a business deal. Granted, I want to marry for love too. Like, I want to be in love. I want to be happily married. I want to be in love. Like, I want that fairy tale also. But I feel like this is just giving me perspective, because it's just like, okay, I think it's unrealistic for me to think that I'm going to be able to get all this stuff. I'm not even surprised that that man had a mistress. Well, it probably wasn't even like he had he had a girlfriend and he had a wife. Because, truth be told, he probably wasn't ever really in love with the wife, or if he was, the love might have faded a long time ago. Like, I be thinking back to shows like Desperate Housewives. The wives are having affairs and stuff like that. Or think about how many movies where men be having mistresses and they be like CEOs of company and stuff. Like, they don't just be pulling those movie concepts out of their ass. That's real life. It happens all the time. It's just so much stuff that you may have to deal with when you're dealing with that type of man that I just think that we don't think about. And maybe it's because we're not exposed to that. Which brings me to my next lesson. I'm gonna come back to that. When you watch the Basketball Wives and the Real Housewives, those women are not shy about letting you know that dealing with high profile men is not an easy thing. They're highly sought after by other women. They're not going to be as available to you as you probably would like them to once they get to a certain point in their career. And they're going to look to you for certain things, to be responsible for certain things, because their main goal is to make money and provide and keep the roof over your head. So they're going to look to you for a lot of other things. Sometimes like expectations are unrealistic of like exactly what being the wife or being with that type of man actually looks like. I be seeing women on Twitter mad because they man want them to cook and clean and wash clothes, and it's just like, girl, you don't got to get up and go to work every day. What else you gonna be doing in the house? As Black women, realistically, a lot of us didn't grow up with a father in the home or like just in a two-parent household, period. I know I didn't. And we didn't have a lot of examples of like a healthy relationship or a healthy marriage to emulate. That, I think, subconsciously heavily affects how we look at relationships. Black women, we strong. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we was raised to be independent, honey. Okay? Don't worry about no man, girl. You need to get a good job. You need to be able to support yourself. Accomplishments. Like, that's what we were taught. That's what was drilled into our heads. Go out and do what you need to do to be able to take care of yourself. It wasn't go out and do what you need to do to be the best housewife, find this man. It wasn't that. That's not what it was giving. Marriage just was not a priority. Getting married, being a wife was just not a priority. Like, and I think it's just because a lot of us just didn't see it. And, you know, and then you realize as you get older, a lot of people in your friend groups are getting married or getting engaged or settling down or whatever. I know lockdown has like opened a lot of our eyes that we may not want to like be alone for the rest of our lives. And it kind of put things into perspective for a lot of people. So I think that the narrative is changing just with the generations to come. Like, we need to figure out what our priorities are. You know, we gotta like do some work to kind of fix that, because do we really want to be alone? No, I don't. Kevin Samuels dragged me the most with this, okay? And that is like, I am lazy. I want you to like this video if you can identify with this. Being a woman, you know, I'm used to guys seeking me out, pursuing me. I have all this information now, but I haven't put it to the test because, like, girl, I ain't dating nobody. And I ain't trying to date nobody. I'm just like, you want me to do what? You want me to initiate what? Like, no, I'm not doing that. If he likes me, he can come talk to me. We want it to come to us. Like, we want it to, well, I know I do. I be wanting somebody to knock on my door, child. Can it be the postman? Can it be the postman, the Amazon delivery driver. Like, I don't put any effort into trying to find anybody. Now, granted, the panorama really set me back. The panorama was hard on me.
I'm fighting for my life.
So that was like a different dynamic. I feel like that's like an isolated circumstance. I'm not actively pursuing anything. I'm not getting any results either. It's like, girl, what, you going to stay in the house for the rest of your life? No, you can't do that. No, because nobody's going to come to your doorstep. Like, the chances of that happening are slim to none. So in order for me to increase my chances of finding someone, because at the end of the day, dating is a numbers game. The more shots you shoot, the better your chances are of the ball actually going into the hoop. I have to stop being so lazy and just expecting for someone, especially like the type of guy that I want to just like come to me, because let's not get it twisted, okay? This milkshake makes the guys come to the yard, but the thing is, the guys that are coming to the yard, I want them out. Get out of my yard. Get out of my yard. Go, go, go. If I'm going to have any luck with finding the type of man that I want, the caliber of man that I want, that I feel like I deserve and I should be with, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work. The issue is she doesn't like to work. You know, we're a generation that don't like to work. I don't even like that word. Well, another thing about us, when I say us, I mean women. We don't take to rejection well, girl. We do not like to be rejected, okay? Y'all, I shot my shot one time and I failed. It was an epic fail, okay? And like, I don't know how much more of them I got in me. It was traumatizing. I mean, he didn't flat out say no. I mean, because like, who would say no?
Look at the material. You should be going home anyway. You can be the judge of it.
It was just not the reaction that I was expecting. One thing that Kevin Samuels also says is like, how bad do you want it? How serious is it to you? How important is it to you? And I hate that it took me, you know, as long as it did to kind of like understand this and realize all of this stuff. I'm here now, and I have to, if I'm going to be serious about it, like, I have to do the work also. Like the law of attraction, is like, if you get a little bit of movement going, listen, the universe will make a way. Alright, so I just went and finished my makeup. I did a little bit of something extra on the eyes just because, I don't know, I was feeling myself. Listen, hey, I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting it together. I'm getting my act together because, yo, I don't like the streets. It's not for me. Let me know what you think about the things that I was talking about today. If you agree, if you don't agree. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. And make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This video was a little bit different than what I normally do, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, babes. Bye. Hey, babes. It's Trenae, aka Trenaejxo. This is dark. Like, look at I can't. Bruh.